All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out some black-yellow koala action in the OP-17 format, using some of the new cards from OP-17, especially the cards in yellow. Okay, so let's do this, guys. Let's get right into today's video. It's going to be a very standard layout. First things first, we're going to head over to the deck list and break that down. After that, we're going to head over to the sim. We're going to be checking out I think maybe 4 games today on the sim, guys. Yeah, we have 4 games lined up for today on the sim. And then after that, we will recap, and I'll tell you guys what I think about this leader moving forward. Okay, so let's do this, guys. Let's get right into it. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden. Their Orange Blossom and Heaven's Wrath playmat pre-orders are officially live. And for the first time, you can get a sneak peek at Nin Garden's very first deck box, the Valhalla Vault, with pre-orders opening at the end of the month. Plus, their summer savings event is still running for a few more weeks. So be sure to use my code, the VV Theory, at the checkout to save 10% on your next order. Alright guys, let's go ahead and break down the deck list for today's video, starting off with the leader. Koala is a 5,000 power, 4 life, black and yellow, Dressrosa and Revolutionary Army type leader with the effect, when this leader attacks your opponent's leader, if you have 2 or more characters with a cost of 8 or more, draw 1 card. And then once per turn, when your opponent plays a character with an original cost of 8 or more, or when your opponent plays a character through an effect of a character, you may activate this effect. Your opponent adds the top card of their life cards to their hand. Okay, so now we're going to go through the entire deck list, guys. Be sure to pause and read each one of these cards if you don't already know what they do. But don't worry too much about the OP-17 cards, guys. The new cards from OP-17, we are going to go over those a bit more thoroughly. Okay, so we're running 4 of the 2-cost Sanji. We're running 1 of the 9-cost Stussy, 4 of the 1-cost Searcher Lilith, 2 of the 3-cost Bonnie from OP-08, 2 of the 3-cost Blocker Karasu, 4 of the 2K counter Daifuku, 4 Charlotte Pudding, 4 Baby 5, 4 Zoro from OP-15, 4 Charlotte Oven, 4 Charlotte Smoothie, 3 of the Secret Kuma, 4 of the 6-cost Sweet 3 Generals, 2 of the 7-cost Perospero, and 4 of the 10-cost Charlotte Linlin. So guys, let's go ahead and break down this deck list. We're going to go over all of the OP-17 cards first, and then things should start making sense. But real quick, before we even do that, today's version of Black-Yellow Koala is focused more on the yellow OP-17 Big Mom Pirate support stuff, but there is going to be a version in the future that I want to work on that's focused more around the black Elbaf OP-17 stuff, because that could be kind of cool with the characters that are super cheap but have a higher cost on them than what's printed because of effects. Just to give one quick example, there are cards like this in OP-17 for black Elbaf, like this 4-cost Jaguar D Sol. It's a 4-cost 6,000 power character, but it says this character gains plus 12 cost. Well, that kind of effect will go perfectly with our leader. And the same thing is true of a card like this Loki right here, which is a 6-cost character, but it ends up counting as an 18-cost character. Well, that's perfect for our leader, right? We can run that, and then by the time we get to the 8-cost part of the curve, well, that's what the leader's trying to get anyway, right? We're trying to get an 8-cost or higher character on the board so we can start attacking with our leader into our opponent's leader and drawing cards and generating advantages in that way. So we're definitely going to be messing around with a black Elbaf version of Koala in the future, but in today's version, we're going to be focusing more on the yellow Big Mom Pirate stuff. Okay, so first up, we will talk about Sanji. This is a 2-cost, 2,000 power character with a 1k counter, and the effect is if there is a character with a cost of 12 or more, this character gains plus 3,000 power, and then on play, draw 2, trash 2. That's the main reason I'm running this card, is for the draw 2, trash 2 effect. But one thing I noticed in my play testing was that this card, that first effect, goes off of any card on the board with a cost of 12 or more. It just says if there is a character with a cost of 12 or more, this character gains plus 3,000 power. It doesn't say a character that you control. It's just a character on the board. So that was actually a pretty interesting thing that I came across when testing this deck out. Okay, so really solid card here for drawing cards early on and fixing our hand. Okay, and then we also have pretty much all of the Big Mom Pirates package that I can run in a deck that's not Big Mom Pirates type. So in the same way that some cards, let me explain something real quick, guys. For the Elbaf stuff, some cards are like locked to a Elbaf type leader, like this Roto card that says if your leader has the Elbaf type, this character gains plus 12 cost. Same thing with Gerd. If your leader has the Elbaf type, this character gains plus 12 cost. Certain effects or even certain part of effects are locked to a certain type. Bandai was pretty, it seems like Bandai was very careful with the way they chose to do that, while still leaving some other cards open-ended where you can run them in pretty much any deck, like what we saw with Jaguar D Saw and with Loki. Well, the same thing is true for the yellow cards in OP-17 as well. This Charlotte Lin, and then even cards like this Sweet 3 Generals we're going to talk about in a minute, these can be run in any type of deck. They're not leader-locked or type-locked. However, some cards are. Like this Charlotte Katakuri says if your leader has the Big Mom Pirates type, and the same thing with this Charlotte Cracker card, if your leader has the Big Mom Pirates type. So we can't run all the cards we would like. I would love to be able to run this Charlotte Cracker card or this Charlotte Katakuri card in Black Yellow Koala and still get their effects, but unfortunately we can't. We can still technically run the cards as their trigger play this card effect. It is a 6-cost 4K with a 1K counter that has a trigger to play this card out. That's extremely important, and again, we're going to talk about all of that more in just a second, but I don't think it's quite worth running if we can't get the your turn on play effect. I think we have better options than running something like that. Just as an example, think of it like this, guys. This is a 6-cost 4,000 power character with a 1K counter and a trigger effect that can play this card. Well, we actually have a 3-cost 4,000 power character with a 1K counter and blocker with a trigger effect that lets us play this card. It is a bit conditional, but it still has that potential for 3 costs less. And remember, with a card like this in a deck that's not Big Mom Pirates type, we don't even get the your turn on play effect. Okay, now, just wanted to mention that real quick. So we just went over Sanji, and now going over to Daifuku. Daifuku is a 3-cost 4,000 power character with a 2K counter and trigger, play this card. Just a really solid utility 2K counter in any deck with the ability to play out of life. Okay, then we have Charlotte Pudding. This is a 3-cost 4,000 power character with a 1K counter with the on play effect that says you may trash 1 card with a trigger from your hand and draw 3 cards, guys. Very, very powerful on play effect there. And then the trigger, it's not a trigger body. Instead, it's a trigger search. It says look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Big Mom Pirates type card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, moving on from there, we have Charlotte Oven. This is a 4-cost 4,000 power character with a 1K counter and a trigger, play this card effect, and an on KO effect that says play up to 1 character card with 4,000 power or less other than Charlotte Oven from your trash. Very nice on KO effect there, because we are going to want to be attacking in with these cards as soon as we're able to. And this with a card like this, with this kind of effect, we don't even care if our opponent KOs our character, because we'll just get another card back from our trash. The best target to get back from your trash with this card, yeah, I guess it depends on the situation technically, but it's either going to be this Charlotte Pudding, probably 95% of the time, where you can pull this card back out on play, trash a card with a trigger and draw 3, or play out a card like this Karasu. Notice this Charlotte Oven card, it says play up to 1 character card with 4,000 power or less, other than Charlotte Oven from your trash. It doesn't have to be a Big Mom Pirates card or anything like that. So we can pull out this Karasu as a blocker. Okay, so that's Charlotte Oven. Then we have Charlotte Smoothie, 5-cost, 4,000 power character with a 1K counter, trigger, play this card. And then we have your turn on play, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards. So that will be 7 Dawn altogether. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards, and then your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. This card is a real nuisance, and it's nice for our going first curve. We can play this out on a 7 Dawn turn to eat up our opponent's hand, gain a life, and then establish a body on the board. Then we have Suite 3 Generals. This is a 6-cost, 4,000 power character with a 1k counter. Trigger, play this card, and a your turn on play effect that says you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards, that's 8 altogether, and then draw 1 card, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards, and then give up to 2 of your opponent's characters minus 3,000 power for the turn. This card is so powerful, guys. It's actually an incredible 8-drop. It doesn't seem good being a 4,000 power character, but let's not forget what we're going to play out later. And for the players out there who don't know what this card does, pause and read it. We'll talk more about it in a second. But this card is going to bring the entire deck to life here. And with this card, with Suite 3 Generals being an 8-cost card, it feels like every game you end up playing this card out for 8 Dawn, reducing the power of 2 of your opponent's characters by 3,000 each, and then attacking into their board, and you draw a card, and you gain a life from this effect here, and then next turn, you play out the Lin, and this ends up being an 8,000 power character. So yeah, this card is just outstanding, guys, and it's a trigger, play this card type of character with a counter on it. Awesome, awesome stuff here. So next up we have Charlotte Parasparrow. This is a 7-cost, 4,000 power character with a 1k counter. Trigger, play this card, and the effect on your turn on play, play up to 1 Big Mom Pirates type character card with a cost of 6 or less from your hand. Then this character gains Rush. We're going to talk more about this card in just a second. This is not meant to be played out on curve, like on your 7 Dawn turn. You can play it out then if you want to, but this is really meant to be played out after you've established the 10-cost Lin. Okay, now let's talk about the 10-cost Charlotte Lin. This is a 10-cost, 12,000 power character with a your turn effect that says the base power of all of your characters with a trigger and 4,000 base power becomes 8,000. Okay, all of them, not just your Big Mom Pirates cards. Even your Revo Army cards, your Egghead Bonnie Pirates cards, it doesn't matter. Any card that has a base power of 4,000 and a trigger on your turn with this Charlotte Lin on the board, they will be 8,000 power attackers. Really, really powerful. And then on play, draw 1 card and choose 1. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards, or add up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards to the owner's hand. So when you play this card down, you're buffing pretty much your entire board. There's a few cards that will not get the buff in this deck, like the 1-cost, the 2-cost, the 1-cost Lilith, 2-cost Sanji, the 4-cost Zoro, or the Bartholomew Kuma. Those cards aren't going to get a buff. But all of your other, 4,000 power characters with triggers are going to be 8,000 power, and then you're drawing a card, replacing this card in your hand immediately. You're not even going down in hand size, and then you're also gaining a life or burning up your opponent's life. This card is a monster, guys, and now that we know what this card does, understand how powerful this card is with Charlotte Parasparrow. So on a 10 Dawn turn, after you've established your Charlotte Lin, you can play out this Parasparrow for 7 and cheat out a 6-cost or lower Big Mom Pirates type card. So something like this Suite 3 Generals or this Smoothie. And understand what that will do. You'll be able to play this card out, and then your turn on play, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards to use their effect. Well, if you play this card out for 7, you'll have 3 Dawn available, so you'll easily be able to pay the 2 costs of this card to get the effect, to gain a life, draw a card, and go from there. And now you have an 8,000 power rusher on the board in this Parasparrow from the Charlotte Lin power boost. Well, guys, that's about enough yapping about the deck list. Let's go ahead and head over to the sim and see this deck in action. Alright guys, first game up is going to be against OP-17 Purple Kaido. Volume is off, we are full screen, speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. Okay. So one thing I think I forgot to mention is I think we do want to go second pretty much every time so we can be on that even curve. And it looks like we're going second this game. No turn 1 play for the Kaido. We're going to go turn 1 Sanji, draw 2, trash 2, and then we're going to pass the turn back to our opponent. They're going to swing for 5,000. We take that hit pretty aggressively there, and we do get a trigger body. And then my opponent is going to follow up with a Basil Hawkins play there to ramp a Dawn. And now we are going to attack in for 5,000. My opponent passes the turn back. We're going to swing for 5,000. They use a Mamaragan to draw a card there. And then we swing for 5,000 more, and they use another Mamaragan. But then we play out the 3-cost Pudding, trashing a card with a trigger to draw 3. And that's going to be our turn. We pass it back to the Kaido player, and they're going to start off with a 1-cost Searcher event, and then play out a 1-cost Queen to do a trash 1, draw 2. And then let's see what they choose to do from here. They're going to, they accidentally attached a Dawn to their Queen. I don't think that was intentional, but it didn't matter. They got to ramp the Dawn, and they attacked into our character. We were just going to let that go anyway. Okay, so we attack in for 5,000 here into their leader. They take the hit down to 4. We swing for 5,000 more. They give us a 2K counter, and now we're going to play out a 1-cost Lilith to follow up here, grabbing a card with a trigger, a 2K counter, Daifuku, and then we play out a Zoro, trashing a card to gain a life. Okay, now our opponent is going to play out a 9-cost Queen. Seems good. We just finished our 6 Dawn turn, and they're playing out a 9 Dawn character. Okay, they're going to attack 5,000 into 4. We are going to save that card because that was their last attack for the turn, and we could save that with a single card from hand. And now we're going to swing for 5,000 with that Pudding that we just saved. They're going to give us a 1K counter. We swing for 5,000 more. We're just taxing their hand right now, guys. We're just eating up their hand. And then we're going to play out a Charlotte Smoothie for 7, gaining the life and making our opponent trash a card. Okay, so now it is a 10 Dawn turn for the Kaido player. Let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to play out the 10-cost Kaido. Well, we're going to burn up one of their life cards for playing that card out. Just like we did when they played out the Queen, we burned up a life card of theirs when they played that out as well. Because anytime they play out a character with a cost of 8 or more, once per turn, we can burn up their life with our leader's effect. Okay, they have a follow-up play here with this 2-cost card, and they attack into our Zoro. That card's gone, and I can't remember what that 2-cost card does that the Kaido just played. Okay, some type of on-play effect, but I can't quite read it from here. Okay, so the turn gets passed back to us. We still have 5 life. We're going to swing for 5,000. Let's see if they're going to respect that attack and counter out of it. And then we're going to play out the Lin, and we're not going to attack with our Smoothie because they have a 12,000 power blocker. There's no point to attack with the Smoothie right now. Well, guys, we're up to 6 life now. As it turns out, we're up to 6 life. And let's see what our opponent chooses to do in this situation here. They have to start attacking with that Queen card with Banish. That Queen does have Banish, so that is a really good attacker for them. I think they should just start every turn by attacking for 10,000 with that Queen with Banish. I don't think there's any other, I don't think there's a better play than that to start your turn off with, just to see what I do. Okay, so waiting for my opponent here. They're going to play out a 1-cost Searcher event to try to figure out what they want to do. Because remember, guys, they have to be careful. If they play out a 10-cost character or an 8-cost or higher character, they're going to lose a life card in the process. So they can't just play out an 8-cost character and be fine with that because they'll go down to 0 life, and if they don't have a blocker, we can just run them over. Okay, so here we go. They played out a Queen to start their turn off. They played out a... and now they're attacking in with their leader for 5,000. We're going to take that. We get a draw 2 trigger, and they're going to attack. They attack in with the Queen. We take that hit. It was not a trigger at all, so that's not too bad for us. We actually got off a little bit easy there. And then they're going to play out a 10-cost Kaido. Well, now they're down to 0 life, and they're going to KO our character and pass the turn back. Well, guys, that was dangerous. I have to say that was pretty dangerous. So right here, we're going to play out the 6-cost Kuma. We're going to attack for 5,000 here first, I think, with our leader. Or actually, we can attack for 12,000 with the Charlotte Lin. And if they... Nope, instead, we're just going to swing for 5,000 with the leader here. And we have to be careful how we do things. They're going to 1K counter out of that with the effect of one of the Kaidos there. That was very nice. And we're actually going to pass the turn. We're up to 6 life again. And we're going to keep poking into them. And they have to keep respecting my attacks. Because if they just try to get a free block with their Kaido, the 10-cost Kaido, well, I'll just run them over with one of my other attacks. I'll just load all my Dawn on the other attack and go through. So let's see what they choose to do here. Again, I think just every single turn needs to start off with a Queen attack into my leader. Just swing for 10,000 with Banish. Get rid of my card here. Yep, that card's gone. Nice. That was a trigger, too. That was a really good Banish effect for my opponent. Okay, a 5,000 power attack. And I do have a full board. I'm going to 1K counter out of that. I don't want to get too greedy here. I could have taken that and tried to get a trigger body, but we chose not to. Okay, hang on. My opponent plays out a 10-cost Lin here to gain a life. Well, they're going to lose that life immediately from the effect of my leader, and they reduce the power of my Charlotte Lin. Do they have any more Mamarogans? They got out of 2 attacks earlier with 2 different Mamarogans. Do they have any left? The answer is no, they don't, guys. And now they're going to swing for 12,000. We'll take it. No trigger. Unlucky. And now they pass the turn back. I don't think there's any way out of this, guys. If we swing for 12,000 with this Linlin, they have to respect this attack. I think they have to give me the Kaido in this situation. If I swing for 12,000 here with this Linlin and they block with Kaido, I'm swinging for 17,000 with the Kuma. I'm pretty sure they just have to respect this attack and give me their Kaido, which is brutal. Okay, leader effect. Okay, what's going on next here? Oh, they're just going to fully counter out. Well, that's game, right? So at that point, guys, it's just math. I can load 3 Dawn on Sanji, swing for 5, that's 1 card from hand. 3 Dawn on Lilith, that's 1 card from hand. Swing with Zoro, that's their blocker, and swing for my leader, and that's game. So there is no way out of it from this point here, guys. Or I just attack for 7, they give me a 0-cost 3K, and we swing for 6. Good game to my opponent. When you start, so let me explain something. I don't think my opponent could have survived this turn to begin with, but just to kind of go back over this attack right here with the Linlin, I think you literally have to just give me the Kaido in this situation if you have that much counter power. Or, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what you can do in this situation. Maybe they should have just... Yeah, if they just give me the Kaido here... No, they can't. There's just no way out of it. Never mind, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's just no way out of it. Because what ends up happening... So let's say he just gives me the Kaido here, right? Okay, no, I think he can. I think he can get out of it, potentially, if he has an event. So he has to give me the Kaido in this situation here. And then if I load up for 17, or for 10 on my 7K character and swing for 17, leader effect would drop it to a 15, and then a 1-cost 4K and a 1-cost 4K. That would get you 10. And then I guess they can get out of that with like a 1K counter from hand. But then I still have a 5K and a 6K coming through as well. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, good game to my opponent. They were in a tough spot there. And Black Yellow Koala has, I think they have a natural advantage against Purple Kaido right now because our leader effect just eats up their life. I could be wrong about that. It probably depends on the start that they get. But yeah, the longer the game goes on, the more value my leader Koala gets, and I'm just burning up their life passively with the leader effect. So yeah, good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. That was against Purple Kaido. Now we got a game versus Blue Rocks D Zebek. Volume is off. We are full screen. Speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. Okay, guys, got a game here against Blue Rocks D Zebek. Looks like we're going to be going second, which is nice. They have no turn 1 play. We're going to go turn 1 Lilith, fix our hand, pass the turn back. And let's see what they do on a 3 Dawn turn here. They're just going to swing for 8,000. We're going to take this hit. They're going to use their leader effect to trash a card and draw 2. And then they're going to pass the turn back to us. We're going to swing for 5,000. They're going to give us a 0-cost 2K. And then we're going to play out the 3-cost, we're going to play out the 1-cost Lilith first to do a top 4 search for a card with a trigger. We grab a 2K counter. We play out the 3-cost Pudding, trashing a Charlotte Smoothie to draw 3. And then we're going to pass the turn back to our opponent. Okay, they're going to swing for 5,000. I think we are going to respect this. We're already down to 3 life because they attacked for 8,000 last turn. Okay, we give them a 1K counter Sanji. They play out the 7-cost Linlin. We're just going to let them draw 2 cards, and they pass the turn back. Okay, now we are going to start off with a 5,000 power attack into the opponent. They are going to trash a card with the Linlin effect to 1K counter out of that. We play out the Kuma. We gain a life, pass the turn back. They play out a Shiki. They attack for 5, and then they're going to attack for 7. Okay, or they might not attack for 7, actually, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they don't attack for 7. We get out of the first attack for 5 with just a 1K counter. And they don't attack with the Linlin, which was probably pretty smart, because on an 8 Dawn turn, we could have played out those sweet 3 generals and made a play for their board. Okay, so it's back to us. We start off with a 5K attack with the Charlotte Pudding. We swing for 5K with our leader. They're countering out of everything, and now we swing for 8,000 to get around the Shiki's counter effect, because they could have just gotten out of it with a single card if we only attacked for 7. We follow up with a Kuma. We gain another life, and we pass the turn back. They go for my Pudding. That's fine. That card's gone. That card basically just worked as like a, trash 1, draw 3, attack 2 times, and then it ends up eating a 7,000 power attack. The amount of value on that Pudding card was outrageous. Okay, now my opponent's attacking in for 5,000 into my leader. I'm going to take that hit. That was very greedy. I think I should have given them a 2K counter, but I am trying to find my 10 cost. I'm trying to find my 10 cost Linlin. Okay, are they going to attack with that Shiki? If they do, okay, they're going to play out a Kaido. they're going to reveal 3 cards from their hand and give my Kuma minus 3,000 power. They attack into it. We're going to just go ahead and let it go, and we gain a life from the on KO effects. They play out the 3-cost Stussy, lock down my other Kuma because that on play effect goes off of base cost, and they play out a Kaido to finish up their turn. Okay, so we're on a 10 Dawn turn, but we have no 10-cost Linlin, guys. We can't play out the 10-cost Linlin here. So we do have some options, though. We're going to play out the 4-cost Zoro. I was going to say another option we could have had was playing out the Sweet 3 Generals and going from there, but we can only attack with our leader right now. So we play out the Zoro to gain a life, and then we're going to swing for 11,000 into... We swing for 11,000 into 7,000, and they block out with a 6K blocker Kaido. Okay, 5K attack here. We're going to take that. Again, I'm trying to greedily take life right here, guys. I'm looking for a 10-cost Linlin. There we go. We get a trigger to do a top 5 search with the pudding. We finally found the 10-cost Linlin, and now my opponent is going to follow up with a 10-cost Roxy Zebek play. They're going to lose a life for that for my leader effect, so that's fine with me. They play out the 6-cost Edward Newgate. That's always really strong. And then they play out the Stussy, and they're going to, again, they lose a life from that for my leader effect. And now they're going to, they still can attack with their leader if they want to do that. They swing for 5. Now we can finally start getting out of these attacks. We do have a lot of counter power in hand, which is nice, but I think we should 1K counter out of this for sure. Okay, actually, we can't 1K counter out because I think they're going to use the effect of the Newgate, and I think we're going to 2K to get out of this one. We did what we had to do there, guys, just to get to the 10-cost Linlin. We sometimes you do what you got to do, okay? But we finally got there, and now we're going to be able to play that card out, gain a life, start making a play for this board. Okay, that's exactly what we do. We draw a card from the effect. We're going to gain a life, I believe. I would be very surprised. Oh, I might be doing the math. I'm doing the math right now, guys. Look at my mouse moving. I decided, you know what? We're going to go for face. I swing for 5,000 here. All of these are going to be 1 card from hand. It's going to be 1 card from hand from this attack, 1 card from hand from my Zoro attack, and then probably 2 cards from their hand from my Sweet 3 Generals attack, unless they want to just take the hit. Okay, here we go. So they got out of the 6K with a 2K, I believe, and we're attacking for 8,000. They trash a card for the Newgate effect to buff their leader by 3,000, and they use the Shiki effect to reduce the power by character by 3,000. And that's gonna, and then we pass the turn back. And guys, we're at a point now, they're down to 2 life, and we do have a 10-cost 12K on the board. We're in a pretty decent spot, but they have a lot of counter on the board now. Okay, they battle into my Zoro, that card's gone. They tap 3 to use the effect of the Stussy to lock down my Kuma. That had to have been a play mistake, unless they're trying to attack into my Linlin. They might want me to attack with the Charlotte Linlin, so they can attack into it. I see what they're trying to do here, guys. I think that's what they're trying to do. So now they're going to swing for 7,000 with their leader. And I think we're going to respect this with a 2K, 1K, and then they're going to attack with their Roxy Zebek. We're going to take that hit. We do a draw 2, trash 1 trigger, and now it's going to be back to us. Excuse me, they play out the Captain John, and they draw 1, trash 1 to get that card sideways. Now we have to attack into Captain John. We have to get through that card. So I'm just going to swing 12,000 into that card and see if I can get through. It goes through, which is really good news for us. And now we're going to be able to follow up by maybe making a play for the board. We can play out the 7-cost Perospero to cheat out the Sweet 3 Generals, tap 2 Dawn to gain a life, reduce the power of 2 characters by 3,000 for the turn, and we can attack him with our leader and with the Perospero. Okay, here we go. We're going to make that play. Play out the Perospero, cheating out the Sweet 3 Generals, tap 2 for their effect, gain a life, draw a card, minus 3,000 there, minus 3,000 there. We're swinging 5 into 5, and then it's going to be 9 into 5. I have to get that Charlotte, that Edward Newgate off the board. That Edward Newgate has to be off the board here, guys. Okay, boom, 9 into 5. Can he save it? He can't. That's good news for us. We're doing one of these. We're just wiping the sweat off of our brow there, because if we don't get that card off the board, we actually lose right here. They can attack for lethal. They can still probably nearly attack for lethal. They're going to go 9,000 into my Charlotte Linlin, trashing a card, giving my Linlin minus 3,000 for the turn. Okay, I'm going to get out of that with a 1K counter. Then they're going to go 12 more into 9. I'll give you every card in my hand if I can to save this card, guys. I'm getting out of these attacks if I can. They play out a Roxy Zebek. That's going to cost them a life. I don't know if they realize this or not, but that's going to cost them a life card for my leader effect. A lot of people forget about how Black Yellow Koala works. Okay, they play out the 6-cost Newgate. Very nice. And they play out the Stussy. Now they're going to lose a life card. They're down to 1 life. And what are they going to do? They can't go into my Charlotte Linlin now. They can't do it. I think my opponent's just done for here, guys. I think that was basically it for them. Okay, so now what? They're going to attack for maybe just 5,000 into my Sparrow. I can't save that. 8,000 into 4. Yep, that card's gone. Sure. Okay, and now that's their turn. They pass it back to us, and guys, I think we're just going to go for a lethal. I think we're just going to go for lethal here, guys. Our Sweet 3 generals cannot attack. It looks like I'm actually going to play out the Lilith here instead. I'm going to play that out and get rid of the Shiki, which is going to make it harder for them to battle for the board. But then I started thinking, like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I need to get rid of the Shiki, and then I can make a play for or I could just play for next turn. I still have 3 life. If I get rid of this Roxy Zabek, yeah, I just have to get out of, what, 2 attacks next turn? Really just 1 attack. We're going to swing for 5,000 here. They have to respect this, okay? If they don't respect this, I'm attacking for 7 and then 13. They have to get out of that one. Okay, now I'm swinging in for 8,000. Okay, this is going to get over the Shiki's attack, or the Shiki's defense here. Okay, they give me a 2K and a 0K and a 2, whatever that was there. They use the 2K counter and something else, and then we attack into the Shiki. That card's gone, and now they only have 4 attacks. I just have to get out of 1 attack. Okay, they're not, never mind. They're not even going for lethal, guys. They probably should have tried to go for lethal, but we had 4K counter in hand. So, all right, here we go. My opponent's going to attack for 5,000. They didn't want to attack into my leader because I could get a trigger body, and they wanted to do a trash 1 draw 2 with their leader effect there. They're going to swing for 9,000 into 9,000 using the effect of the Shiki here. I'm not letting him have this card. I'm going to 1K counter out of this one. Yep, I'm not letting you have it. They end up just conceding here. So the way that this turn was probably going to go, I was going to 1K counter out of that, obviously. And then they're going to have to attach all 3 Dawn onto this Edward Newgate to swing for 11 or whatever that is into my 9K body. And I'm going to 2K, 1K to get out of that. And now my opponent can only swing with their Roxy Zabek into my Lin Lin and go from there. Or I guess they could have paid 3. Yeah, so I think, okay. So the thing is, we're going for lethal next turn, right? And now we finally just have to go for lethal. Okay, I say that. Look at my top card, guys. Look at the top card of my life. The top card of my life is a 10 cost 12K Lin Lin where I could gain a life or burn up their life. We had a few options. Either way, I basically have to go for lethal next turn. So I think what they wanted to do was use the Stussy here to lock down the 9 cost Stussy and then get rid of my Lin Lin and then get rid of my... the Kuma. I don't know what they were going to do. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think they needed to go for lethal. Okay, now that we see what's in my life, actually, hang on. So we have a Karasu blocker in life and a 1 cost, we have a 1K counter Lilith and a Karasu in life. So let's see what, I was saying they should have gone for lethal right here. So watch this, guys. I'm going to hit play and I'm going to go forward a little bit. Actually, hang on. We're going to attack Ed. They 2K counter out of this. They 2K or something to get out. Shiki effect in 2K, I think. Okay. Yep, they get out of it however they did. And now we go 12 into 9, and that card's gone. Now watch this. So here's their turn. I think they should have tried to go for lethal. I think it was their best case scenario because they would be able to swing for... Edward Newgate will buff this leader to an 8,000. So this is basically an 8,000 power attacking leader. 8,000 body here, 12,000 here. And they would be able to go 9, 9. So 4 on Stussy would be swing for 9,000. And then 2 here, that would be 9 as well. And then we have 4 left. So it would be like 9, 11, 11, 12 maybe, or 9, 10... I don't even know, guys. There's a few ways that they could swing it, but here let me do the math real quick. So 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 5 is 21, so 31. So they could just go 10, 10, 11, 12. I think that's what they could do here. But here's the problem: I have a Karasu as my second to last life card, so it wouldn't have worked no matter what. Yeah, unfortunate for my opponent. If I'm being honest, guys, it just happens. But you know, that's why a lot of people don't like playing against yellow, and I do get that. But that is like that's part of how we build the deck as well, you know, with the way that blue has access to all the card draw and ways to cheat cards out to the board, and in the case of Roxy Zabek, all these cards that like buff their leader and stuff. Well, we have ways to combat that, and sometimes they can't be seen. They're like hidden triggers and stuff like that. Well, either way, guys, hey, it does happen. Great game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. All right, guys, next game up is going to be against Red Black Sabo. Volume is off. We are full screen. Speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. All right, so I believe this Red Black Sabo player is playing the Elbath version, okay? And it looks like we are going to be going first this game. We play out the 1-cost Lilith to start to fix our hand. We pass the turn over to the red-black Sabo player. They're going to go turn 1 Nami to fix their hand, and another Nami, very nice. That card is a trash 1 draw 2 for Elbaf cards. And then we're going to go turn 2, 3-cost Bonnie, pass the turn. We're going to starve them a little bit, it looks like. Okay, so my opponent plays out the 2-cost 2K counter Zoro. They swing for 6,000 with their leader. We 2K counter out of that. We're respecting their attacks, guys, because this new red-black Sabo deck with the Elbaf cards, it can go very wide, very quickly, and it can be very aggressive. So we're going to attach a Dawn to our Jewelry Bonnie, swing for 5,000 into their 4,000 power leader. Let's see if they want to take this hit and let us do a draw 2 trash 1. Okay, they do. They let us do a draw 2 trash 1. Very nice. And it looks like we're just going to trash the Sanji here, and we have a 4 Dawn follow-up with the Charlotte Oven. Okay, so now we're going to attack in for 5,000. My opponent takes that hit. They're down to 3 life. We're going to play out a 4-cost Oven and pass the turn back. Okay, so now my opponent plays out the Pirate Docking 6 card, cheating a card from their trash, cheating a card onto the board from their trash. That's going to cost them a life card with our leader effect. They just lost a life from that. And now they're down to 2 life. They attack into my Bonnie. We let that card go. They pass the turn back to us, and we're going to swing for 6,000. They're going to 1K counter out of that because they are a 6,000 power leader with that Pirate Docking 6 on the board. And then we're going to play out a Kuma to gain a life. The red-black Sabo player is going to follow up with a Loki play here. Do they want to get rid of my Oven? If they get rid of my Oven, I'd be able to replace it. So they chose to get rid of the Lilith, because if they KO my Oven, I can actually just replace that card with one of the cards from my trash. Okay, here we go, guys. There's a lot of attacks coming in here. 6K attack. We 2K counter out of that. 7K attack. We take that. And now an 8K, an 8 or a 9K attack coming in here. And we're going to have to take this, guys. Okay, I choose to not activate that Daifuku effect. I'm just going to leave that in my hand as a 2K counter. And then my opponent passes the turn back. Okay, 8 Dawn turn. Going to play out these sweet 3 generals here. And that card is so good, guys. Playing that out, we gained a life. We drew a card. We're going to reduce the power of the Pirate Docking 6 and the Zoro by 3,000 for the turn. We're going to go 5,000 into 3,000. Let's see if they let... Yeah, they're going to let that card go. And now 5 into 5. Let's see if they want to save it. They do. 7,000 into 5,000. And are they going to save this card? The answer is no. They let that card go. And then we pass the turn back to them. That Sweet 3 Generals card is so good, guys, I have to say. Okay, 10 Dawn turn for the red-black Sabo player. This is turn 5. This is their first 10 Dawn turn. They play out another Pirate Docking 6, guys. They're not respecting my leader ability. And now they're down to 1 life. They're not respecting my leader ability. Now they're down to 1 life. So they attack in for 7,000 with their leader. We get a trigger there from the smoothie. They said, okay, that's enough of that. I'm not attacking anymore. And that was probably a little bit too safe at that point because my board is full. They could have kept attacking in at this point, and then I would have just taken the cards to my hand. Or I also could have made a play for their board, though, I guess. If they attacked too aggressively, I guess I could have gone for their board. It really depends on the situation. But yeah, I think they probably could have been a little bit more aggressive there. So here we go. 10 Dawn turn. We just have to play out the 10-cost Linland. I don't think there's any other choice now. I guess we can gain a life. We can KO characters on their board with the Lilith. We have some other options, but no, we're going to play out the 10-cost Linland. We're going to gain a life. We're going to swing for 6,000, 8,000, 8,000, 8,000. That's the order of business here. Okay, 7,000 gets met with a 2K counter. 8,000's coming in here. I think they probably should just block. Okay, they actually 2K, 1K to get out of that, I think, and then we're going to swing for 8,000 more. They can take this hit and block out of the next one, or they could block this one and the next attack and keep their health at 1. Okay, they take 1. We swing it for 8,000. They have to give us a blocker, and then we pass the turn back. We're at 3 life. Let's see what they choose to do here. We do have a decent amount of counter power in our hand. Okay, they're going to play out the Nami. They're fixing their hand a little bit, and let's see what they choose to do. 6,000 into 5, you better believe we're going to give a 2K counter for that. Okay. Let's see what else they do. Are they not going to make a play for my board at all? I guess they're concerned that they're going to lose on the crackback. So they're swinging in for 8,000. They have 7 Dawn available. I'm starting to suspect that they're going all in. 8,000 power attack. We are actually going to take that. We get a Lilith trigger. We find a 1K counter from that. I was hoping to find a 2K counter. That's okay. And now they have 7 Dawn left for the turn. Maybe they're running something like a red, like a 5-cost 6K Rush Luffy, maybe? I have no idea what they're playing here. Okay, they're attaching Dawn to the Jinbei. They're going all in. At that point, I know they're all in. Okay, so they have a 9K attack, a 9K attack, and a 9K attack with 3 Dawn left if they choose to do things like that. So we actually take that hit. Now they're going to swing for 10,000, and now they're going to be able to swing for 11,000. Okay, so right here I'm counting things up. I think I'm going to take this hit and bait them in because they can't, you know, they don't have enough. So we take the hit there. They swing for 11. We're going to 2K, 1K, 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 1K to get to 12. And we had 1K counter to spare. And that's going to be game. Good game to my opponent. They end up leaving just a second early there. But it was just going to be attack in, obviously, for lethal. They had no chance of surviving. Yeah, we would have had like 7K, 9, 9, 9, 12, 13 or something like just absolutely crazy attacks there. There was no way out of it. Either way, great game to my opponent. We got one more game to go over. We got a game versus Green Shanks. All right, so we got the volume off. We are full screen. Let's get the speed on 2x, and we are good to go. All right, so we got a game here versus Green Shanks. It looks like they are going to be going first this game. They're going to start off with a turn 1 searcher event. That event is really nice, guys. It does a top 5 search, and it's a 1-cost 3K counter. Very solid. Okay, so they pass the turn back to us. We go turn 1 Lilith. We're going to fix our hand here to the best of our ability. And then we pass the turn back to them. 3 Dawn turn, they play out a Lime Juice. They're fixing their hand even more. And then they're going to play out a 1-cost Crone Ollie to help protect their board. Then they swing in for 6,000. We're going to 2K counter out of that. And then they pass the turn back to us. We're going to start off with a 5K attack. They take the hit. And we're going to follow up with a Charlotte Oven and pass the turn back to our opponent. Okay, 5 Dawn play for the Shanks player. Let's see what they choose to do. They play out the 4-cost Lucky Roo. Very nice. And then they attack in for 5,000. We take the hit there, and they pass the turn back to us. 6 Dawn turn for us. We're going to start off by playing out a 1-cost Lilith Searcher. And then we're going to play out a 3-cost Pudding to trash a card and draw 3. And it looks like that drew us into a Sanji. So we're going to be able to play that out here. We swing for 5,000. I'm kind of daring them to use that Lucky Roo here. Do they want to tap down one of my characters? The answer is no. They 1K counter out of that. We follow up with a Sanji here. And we do a draw 2, trash 2. And pass the turn back to our opponent. Okay, 7 Dawn turn for my opponent. They're going to play out a 1-cost Lime Juice to fix their hand even more. Playing out the Trafalgar Law, pulling back the Lime Juice, cheating out the Smoker. That's going to cost them a life card for my leader effect, and now they're going to swing for 5,000 into my leader. I give them a 1K counter. They're going to swing for 5,000 more with their Lucky Roo. And right here, I think I am going to respect this attack here because it's an easy 5K attack that I can get out of with a 1K counter. Okay, so what are they going to do? They have 1 Dawn active. They can't really do much else here. Okay, so they pass the turn back to us, and now we're on an 8 Dawn turn. This is a great turn for the Sweet 3 commanders here. We're going to play that out to draw a card, gain a life, and then reduce the power of 2 of their characters by 3,000 for the turn. I choose to not give the power reduction to the Lucky Roo because I have a feeling they're just going to use the Lucky Roo here to rest down one of my characters, and that's exactly what they did. Okay, so they rest down my Charlotte Oven. They 2K counter out of the attack. I swing for 4K more. They 1K counter out of that attack, and we pass the turn back to our opponent. Okay, they're on a 9 Dawn turn. They play out the 7-cost Ben Beckman. They rest down my characters. And guys, they're about to eat my board up. My board has no chance against what's going on here. 5,000 into 4, that card's gone. 2,000 into 2, that card's gone. And then what? Let's see. Yeah, he's going to attack with his blocker as well. Why not? They're not even a blocker yet. 6,000 into 4, that card's going to be gone. And then 7,000 into 4, or maybe more. Actually, hang on. They have the Ben Beckman that has Character Rush. Never mind. They're going to swing 9,000 into my leader with Banish. We have to let that go. And then they go, it looks like they're going to go, they're thinking about going 9,000 into my Oven. But if they KO that card, I will grab the Pudding from my trash and do a trash 1 draw 3. Okay, so they just lock the card down with the leader effect, with the leader effect instead. Okay, so they passed the turn back to us. They just demolished my board. We're going to go 2,000 into 2,000 to start this turn off. There's no reason to try and save that card. They let it go. And now it looks like we're going to swing for 5,000 maybe. Actually, 6,000 into their Trafalgar Law. They're down to 5 cards in hand. I would rather deal with their board a little bit. And it looks like I'm reading the Crone Ollie card to make sure I understand how that card works. That card can only protect Red Hair Pirates cards, okay, guys? So we just KO'd that Smoker by trashing our Lilith with the Stussy. And that was a devastating play for them. Now they're not eating up my life cards every turn with Banish. Okay, so here we go. 10 Dawn to work with for the turn for the Shanks player. They play out a Ben Beckman. I think they did a 1-cost event search to start the turn off. They rest down my Stussy there. I 1K counter out of that. They go 9,000 into my leader. We get a draw 2 trigger from the baby 5. 7,000 more into 5,000. I think I might want to get out of both of these following attacks here. Here we go, 2K, 1K to get out of that attack, and then a 5K attack we get out of with a 1K counter. And are they going to rest down? Are they going to keep one of my characters locked down with a Dawn? Okay, nope, it's with trashing a card from their hand, which means they're telling me they have a 1-cost 3K or a 1-cost 4K defensive event. We are going to play out a 10-cost Linlin here, swing 8,000 into 6. That card's gone. Swing 5 into their leader and draw a card with our leader effect there. Very nice, and we are up to 3 life. They only have 3 relevant attacks on the board. And even if they played out the 10-cost Shanks, I can just 1K counter out of their leader attack if I need to survive. Okay, 5K into 5, we are going to respect that attack just in case they do have the play we just talked about where they might try to swing for 9, 9, 12 where they rush Shanks. Okay, 9,000, we'll take that. 9,000, we'll take that. We get a trigger body, very nice. 10 Dawn left. They play out the Trafalgar Law, pulling back the 1-cost Crone Ollie to play out the Lucky Roo. Well, that's going to cost them a life card, guys. Whenever they want to play that Trafalgar Law out to cheat out a card, it's going to cost them a life card. Okay, they play out a Lucky Roo. And now that Lucky Roo card is very annoying here, guys. They're going to be able to shut down 2 of my attacks this turn by sacrificing those cards by trashing them. Okay, but these Sweet 3 commanders here, or the Sweet 3 generals, this card is so good, guys. We're going to be able to battle for this board extremely efficiently here. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Okay, we have to make sure we attack him with our Charlotte Linlin first, because otherwise they'll rest it down with the Lucky Roo. All right, just doing a little bit of math right now. I'm trying to figure things out. Remember, guys, I watch these in 2x speed. I'm just deep in the tank right now trying to figure out how I want to do this turn exactly and try to win this game. We play out the Sweet 3 generals. I tap the 2 additional Dawn to gain a life, draw a card, reduce the power of those characters by 3,000. They're going to rest down my Sweet 3 generals, and then they're going to rest down my Charlotte Oven. And now this 12K is going through for sure. And now we can't really do much else here. We're going to swing for 6,000, but I want to swing into their leader to draw a card with my leader. Remember, guys, with the leader effect, you have to have 2 characters with a cost of 8 or more on the board, and you have to attack into their leader, unfortunately. It's unfortunate you can't attack into their board. Okay, so that's our turn. We have 1 Dawn active. Hey, guys, we got a 1 Dawn active like we have a 1-cost 3K or a 1-cost 4K, but don't tell them. Don't tell them. Shh, we don't have one. It's a bluff. It's just a bluff. Okay, so they attack into my board a little bit there. We're still at 2 life, which is really good for us. They play out the Bonk Punch. They're going to KO one of my cards. They KO my Oven, and that's going to give me the Charlotte Pudding back from the trash. That's going to be a trash 1 draw 3. We'll take it every time. Yeah, I mean, I get it. They're in a tough spot. They had to try something there, but I don't think you can even try to KO that card. Maybe they should have just not KO'd anything. I'm not sure. Okay, so they're going to play out a 1-cost. I think I saw them tap 1 Dawn there. Oh, for the event. They play out the 1-cost event. They're going to do a top 3 search. Or, excuse me, a top 5 search. And let's see what they choose to do here. And that's going to be their turn. They leave 3 Dawn active. So they're threatening 3 defensive events here. But I don't know if I'm ready to go for lethal. I don't know if I'm ready to go for lethal, guys. So right here, we're going to start off with a 6K poke to get a card out of their hand because they do have to respect that attack. I have 3 way bigger attacks coming in. They give me a blocker. Okay, hey, all right, you got it. We play out the Sweet 3 generals here. Another one. Hitting their board minus 3,000 like that, 8 into 6. That's it, guys. It's over. It's all over from here. That card's, they can't protect that card enough. It's going to go bye-bye here. Unless they just have the craziest defensive events I've never even seen before. 8 into 5, they just go ahead and concede there. Good game to my opponent. They did have a 10-cost 12K Shanks in hand, but I'm not sure what that's supposed to do for them in this specific situation. Either way, great game to my opponent. Let's head back over to the deck list and break things down one more time before we wrap up this video. Okay, so guys, I don't have a lot more to add to what you see on the screen here. I'm sure there are some minor revisions we can make. We can maybe try to go up another Stussy, maybe -1 Sanji for +1 Stussy. But I did like these Sanjis doing a draw 2, trash 2. That was really not bad. That was not too terrible. But yeah, other than that, yeah, you know, I think this version of the list is pretty much where it needs to be at. But let me say this real quick, guys. Let me be 100% transparent with you guys. I struggled into Rox D. Zebek, and I struggled into Red Black Sabo, the Elbaf version. Those games were tough. It took me I had to put a lot of games in before I got a decent game into either of those leaders. And this version of the deck with the Big Mom Pirates support, it might just not be good against those leaders. Whereas the LBAF version of Black Yellow Koala, which is something we will be working on in the future, that version might be a little bit better into those leaders, or at least more equally. You know, how do I say this? It will feel a bit more balanced against them. Because again, guys, let me really stress this to y'all. I'm not trying to be misleading at all. Black Yellow Koala, with this version you see on the screen right here, I was really struggling into Roxy Zebek and Red Black Sabo. It took me quite a few games before I got the games we saw in today's video, okay, just to be upfront with you guys. But yeah, guys, that's about all I have for y'all today. We will be working on a different version of Black Yellow Koala in the future. I enjoyed this version, but seeing how it played into a deck like Blue Roxy Zebek and a deck like Red Black Sabo, which I expect to see a lot of those in the format, that did make me want to back off of this leader a little bit. Whereas Red Yellow Sabo felt very different into those leaders. Maybe it's the way that I can gain life easily every turn while building up power, you know, by going plus power on my board with my leader effect. I'm not exactly sure, but the Red Yellow Sabo matchup into Blue Roxy Zebek felt much more manageable for me personally. Maybe I'm just more comfortable with that leader. I'm not exactly sure. And tell me what you guys think in the comments section below. Are there any revisions you would make to this list, or are you running the LBAF version of Black Yellow Koala that we're going to be working on in the future? But yeah, after seeing how this deck did into certain decks, I'm definitely leaning more towards the LBAF version of this leader in the future. If we're able to make that work, I feel like it would do a little bit better into the stuff that I struggled against in today's video. Well, guys, that's it. That's all I got for you today. I hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And please, again, guys, I can't stress this enough. If you're running a different version of Black Yellow Koala than I am, and it's working really well for you, please tell us. Are you running a Big Mom Pirates version that's running well for you? Or are you running a LBAF version that's running really well for you? Or are you running some random version that's working well for you? Please tell us. Tell us down in the comment section below. We're all trying to learn together. All right, guys, I'm done. Let me wrap things up here, put the outro on the screen. Okay, guys, if you are liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, or using my TCG Player affiliate link, you're helping me out big time. Thank you so much. And for everyone who's going above and beyond, donating through Patreon or PayPal, the Playmat supporters, the YouTube members, and the Discord community, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you. All right, I'm done. Hope you all enjoyed. Until next time, peace.